The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Ecclesiastes, welcome aboard. This is the Rod Eccles Show train. Yes, I am, of course, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live this frigid morning. It is 20 degrees out there this morning here within the confines of south central New Hampshire. Yes, I am broadcasting again from the Bunkerized Studio, located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. Here it is, Thursday, November number 30 in the year of our Lord 2017. And, you know, lately I've been thinking if there were no sexual scandal news going on, would I have a program? And, of course, the answer is yes, because I had a program before all the sexual scandal crap broke. Now, frankly, a lot of this stuff is now starting to, I mean, it's important to keep it out there in the forefront because it's really not well, I shouldn't put it in these terms, but I'm going to put it in these terms because I'm happy about it. Well, I'm not happy that there's sexual harassment and stuff like that going on. Not at all. What I am happy about is that it's finally getting exposed, in that liberal Democrats all over the country are being exposed for the hypocrites that they are. You know, front and center. You just can't, they can't ignore it now. I mean, you've got newscasters who are blasting, who interview and blast people when it comes to stuff like this. I mean, can you imagine? Let's just say you're Matt Lauer for a second, and you're interviewing people, especially conservatives and Republicans, about themselves or other conservative Republicans on being accused of sexual misconduct and sexual allegations. You're Matt Lauer doing this. You're Charlie Rose doing this, doing these interviews. Good God, man, what must be going through your mind? So, yeah, you're accused of inappropriately touching women in the derriere. What was going through your mind at the time? Why would you do such a thing? I mean, I just can't imagine being that hypocritical, that cold-hearted. I'm just going to say it. I can't imagine being that evil where you're going to blast someone, call for resignations or public lynchings, basically, of individuals, especially conservative Republicans, who are accused of, and sometimes rightfully so, and sometimes proven to have done the deeds that they're accused of, but who are accused of doing the exact same damn things that you are. And you are passing judgment on the air on those people. I mean, what goes through a person like that? What goes through their mind? I mean, are they really thinking, well, geez, this could be me someday. Somebody's going to come out and, especially during all of, now, just think about this for a second. You have all of these allegations that have come out the past 2 months. All of these people have fallen on the sword. And yet you still have people, I mean, with Charlie Rose and now what's coming out about Matt Lauer, my God, are you kidding me? This is what Charmin Matt Lauer has been doing over the past 2 decades over at Good Morning America? What must be going through your mind looking at all? If you're out there under the sound of my voice and you are a person who has done some of this stuff, what must be going through your mind right now? If you are a TV personality, a movie personality, a literary personality, a political personality, you know that your time is almost up. What are you waiting for? Why don't you just get out now before you get embarrassed? Because what must be going through your mind? This is absolutely insane. There is nobody who is safe right now. No, I mean, that's good. I mean, it's good and bad at the same time. But there's nobody who's safe. And the problem is that we're seeing that the vast majority of these people that are currently being accused, and we're not just talking 1 or 2 women coming forward. We got one comes forward, and then the floodgates open. I don't know how many. I lost count of the Matt Lauer accusations now. I mean, he gets what is it, Thursday? He gets fired on Monday or Tuesday. I mean, it's just, we haven't seen him since Tuesday, and now he's apologizing. Well, it's a little late, Matt. And there are more people women are coming out on Charlie Rose, and it's just. And John Conyers, and I got some news on Conyers here too. This is just unbelievable. With some of the stuff that's being said and bandied about, folks, I got to tell you, I am just beside myself. I'm doing the Tucker Carlson face over here on a daily basis now. I cannot believe what I am reading and hearing. Now, I know I said, well, it figures that this is what the left would be doing because, they're accusing so wholeheartedly and so vehemently, they're accusing the right of doing exactly what they're doing. This is what the left often does. They accuse other people of doing what they're doing in order to cover up their evil deeds. But in all my life, I got to tell you, I expect some evil crap to be perpetrated by the left. I really do. But in all my life, I never expected anything like we're experiencing right now. I mean, am I surprised at the names that are being thrown about as sexual harassers, I guess? No, because they're big-time liberals. But the number of them, based on who they are, is a little surprising and is very disconcerting. Because think about it. This has been going on for decades. How many of these men and, very few women, but how many of these men and women have been getting away with this since, 70s, 80s, 90s? How much of this stuff has been perpetrated by leftists? And then we've had our views, our news, our politics twisted by these people. I mean, think about it. Folks, this is a lot worse than just women being groped or men being groped. No. This is all you think. It's all about sex, man. You are missing not even the big picture, but the small picture that's on top of the sexual picture. This goes far deeper than just sexual allegations. This goes far deeper than people like Mal Auer and Charlie Rose not being able to control their adolescent desires and tendencies. And basically that's what this is. I mean, come on. When you're in high school, you think about, wow, I loved it. Yeah, and you're in middle school and high school, you do stupid things like this to each other. Boys and girls, it doesn't matter. Because you haven't learned or you haven't been taught how to control your urges and desires properly yet. I mean, this is true. I mean, this is not saying, I'm not making an excuse for any sexual misconduct that happens among, preteens or teenagers, but it happens a lot because either they haven't been taught yet or they haven't learned how to control these desires. They don't know what they are sometimes when they're younger because they're new feelings. Puberty can be a bitch. It really can. Your body changes, your mind changes. You look at the opposite sex. Well, unless you think you're gay, but you look at the opposite sex differently. There's a lot of things that change, and you don't know how to handle it because you've never had to deal with it before in all of your 12 or 13 years in existence. You've never had to deal with it. So you don't know, and you're scared about it. Hair starts growing in places where you've always been, what's the term, smooth, bald. For both men, boys and girls. And it's and things start to grow or drop or pop out. Things start coming out of you that didn't come out of you before, out of your body before. I mean, it's just, there are a lot of changes that take place, and it screws up your head because you don't know what the hell's going on, and you find yourself, wow, boys wake up in the morning with something, or they see a girl, next thing you know, there's a rise in their pants, and they're like, what the hell is going on? They don't know. But when you become an adult, you're supposed to have been trained to be able to control your urges. You're supposed to know the difference between right and wrong, proper behavior and improper behavior. And that's all this is adolescent behavior that has been popped out in the adult realm because these people think they can get away with it. And they were right. I mean, how many people, let me just ask this question. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're driving in the middle of nowhere. You come to a crossroads. There aren't even buildings on the four corners that you come to the crossroads. No building. But there's a stop sign and a flashing red light. You can see for miles in all directions. There are no headlights. No cars are coming. What do you do? Now, the vast majority of people will come to a full stop at that stop sign and flashing red light. Why? Because, one, they're taught this is what you do no matter what. And two, just because you don't see any headlights doesn't mean that there's not a cop sitting around over there in the dark somewhere. And if you run this light with your luck, that there's going to be and next thing you know, you're going to see red and blue lights behind you, and you're going to get a ticket. You're afraid to get caught. People admit this. I admit this. I mean, I've experienced this. You come up to, you can see for miles. It's late at night. It's a clear night. There's no headlights coming. The roads are clear, and I stop. Why? Because I'm afraid that there really is a cop hiding just beyond what I can see in the darkness, who can see me. And if I don't stop, those lights are going to come flashing and chasing me down and give me an expensive ticket. So we do things because, one, we know that they're wrong, and it's the right thing to do to stop at the stop sign. It is. Because you never know. You think you don't see something, and next thing you know, you go out into in the middle of that cross lane, and boom, you get T-boned because you didn't see something. So it's the right thing to do to stop. But two, it's also because you're afraid of the consequences. Now let's make no bones about it. You know, a lot of times we don't do, even as kids, we don't do, why didn't you do something when you were a kid? Because you were afraid your parents were going to come down like a ton of bricks on you. If I do that, my parents are going to kill me. Yeah, that's a healthy fear. Healthy fear. The problem is that these people get into these positions of power and influence, and they no longer fear being caught. That's why they do it. They set aside knowing the difference between right and wrong. They say, the hell with right and wrong. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Why? Because I don't think I'll ever get caught. So with that attitude, you have to go back and ask yourself, how many people in the past who are either no longer with us or have already retired did exactly what Charlie Rose and Matt Lauer and Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, I got to throw him in there. How many people have done exactly what these people have done throughout our history? And then when they were on the air, either in front of us on TV or you heard their voice on the radio, or they were writing the news or writing books, how many of them were saying the exact opposite of what they were doing? Twisting our views. How many? Do you see how dangerous this actually gets? Do you see how deep this really goes?
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Thursday morning, talking about what goes through a person's mind who actually goes through and does all this kind of stuff to individuals, and then turns around and then just wants to pretend like it doesn't happen. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. What goes through a person's... Now, I can't even imagine. Now, I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't imagine against somebody's will. You know, especially in a... Okay, if you're in a party situation, well, depending on the kind of party. Well, I can't even really imagine it if you're in a party situation or going to a club. But just imagine in a professional scenario. You're at work, of all places. I can't imagine. Now, no matter how attracted I might be to someone, I can't imagine in the confines of a work environment, especially, walking up to someone and grabbing them on the butt or in the front or on the chest or slapping, pinching or slapping their ass or tousling their hair or saying rude, lewd things to them. I can't imagine doing that in a professional it just all kinds of things inside me just say wrong, 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 wrong. Not even with the, well, geez, if yes, they might report you and you can get fired. The fear of getting caught doesn't even come into mind. It just, if any of those thoughts enter my head, it's just like wrong, 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 wrong. It's called a conscience. It tells you. That's just wrong. That's just not right. You can't do that. You can't say that. You can't be that. That's just wrong, wrong, wrong. But these people somehow either don't have a conscience or they ignore it. I don't know. How the hell do you do that? And then go about your daily lives as if nothing wrong or bad happened. You get before people, millions of people every morning, and you act as if you're all innocent and you're above reproach and nothing you do is ever wrong. How do you do that? I don't know. I just cannot figure that one out. And it makes me beg the question, ask the question, which I'm never going to get an answer for, but I'm going to continue to ask it. How many more have done this? How many more have twisted our views, have twisted our beliefs? How many more would, if it were to come out and be admitted to, would we be shocked by? How would that change our personal world view? And I guarantee you it would change your personal world view. Big time. I mean, this is just absolutely... If you're involved in this, in something like this, just stop. Apologize to the people involved and stop. Now, at the same time, we've got to be careful because I know if you give somebody a compliment, especially if you're a male and you give a female a compliment, giving them a proper, hey, you look really nice today. Sorry, ladies, that's not sexual harassment. Well, it's an unwanted compliment. Oh, BS, it's unwanted. You spend hours every morning getting dressed and primping yourselves. That's not an unwanted, in and of itself, it is not an unwanted sexual harassment comment. You look good. We had songs about it. You look good to me. Remember those from the 80s? Yeah, it's all the 80s jams. Yeah, that's not sexual harassment. And if it's a private conversation and you eavesdrop on the conversation, it's not the two people who are having the private conversation's fault. It's yours for eavesdropping. You're not invited in the conversation. You weren't expected to hear it, and you shouldn't be hearing it. So drop it. You got to be careful that we don't take this stuff too far. Because that's exactly what's going to happen, by the way. And I wouldn't be, I'm not surprised, but it's already happening.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
This Thursday morning. Are you awake and raring? Yeah, we're a day away from the weekend. Well, this is the first, coming up is the first weekend of December, the first weekend of the last month of the year. I mean, is that any good? Is that any good? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you think so, but 2017 has just flown by. And it's unbelievable. Ever since Donald, it took forever, it seemed, between November 8th, 2016 and January 2017 to take place. It just seemed like it took forever. Well, it wasn't so much that we elected Trump that I was more excited to see Obama go and that Hillary Clinton wasn't elected. That we were going to get a change. I was so excited by that. Oh, and I was happier than hell. I mean, it was unbelievable. And think about this. A little over a year ago, by the way, by the way, think about a little over a year ago, none of this sexual allegation stuff was happening. But you had the people like, Matt Lauer and Charlie Rose out there and others out there who were saddened and commenting on Donald Trump being the president-elect. I mean, you heard it every day after November 8th last year. It was ridiculous. And a lot of them were also, by the way, talking about that him and about the president, Trump and Billy Bush's private conversation about Trump talking about, grabbing women in the hoo-ha. And remember what he was saying, too, in that. He was saying, if you're a celebrity or powerful person, you get to do this kind of stuff and get away with it. And evidently, to a certain extent, he was right, was he not? Look at all these people that are now in areas, in professions and people that you would never think, most people wouldn't think that these people would do that. I'm not surprised by anybody, to tell you the truth. At first I was a little shocked. When all this stuff first started to hit, I'm like, wow, Kevin Spacey, wow. And then I started to realize, wait a minute, most of these people are liberals. And what do you know about liberals, Rod? You know that they point fingers, they point a finger at everybody, while three fingers are pointing back at them. That old adage, and they make it come true on a daily basis. They make that old adage true on a daily basis. So it's gotten to the point where I'm no longer shocked by the name that gets dropped today. But it is a little disconcerting that some of these people were in positions of power and influence on this very subject. Now you could say, well, yeah, we got lawmakers, Al Franken. Well, even though I'm not shocked by Al Franken, not surprised by the Al Franken allegations, Al Franken wasn't out there basically on a daily basis, in front of us on a daily basis, or on the small screen TV or in the big screen, the movie theater, trying to influence us on a daily. Charlie Rose and Matt Lauer were. They were in front of us on a daily basis, influencing our opinions on the very subject that they are now caught up in. Think about that for a second. Well, I mean, I'm sure Al Franken, Al Franken is probably lawmaker. He was probably involved in designing, laws to try to punish people who committed such acts, but it was on a federal level, and it wasn't. It's not as shocking. I mean, all throughout history, we've known men and women in political realms, power allows people to get away with doing things. So not that they should get away with it, but it's not shocking. It doesn't have as deep of a ramification as people who are in front of us on a daily basis, molding and shaping our opinions and our beliefs on our daily lives. I mean, people like Matt Lauer were in front of us every freaking day. Sometimes at night, sometimes during specials, sometimes on the weekends. They influence us daily about the subjects that they're now being accused of as well. Now think about that. Think about how evil that is. They're out there condemning other people, forming opinions, helping us form opinions on other people that did exactly what they did, or not as bad as what they are accused of doing. Think about that. I mean, there's somebody out there who is actually now accused of rape. I don't know. Well, Lauer's out there now saying that he's truly sorry. But can you imagine this? You're out there on a daily basis talking about, and you're sitting. And what's worse is you're sitting next to women who you may have done this to, or just behind the camera, a director or something is looking at you and directing the cameras on you. And while you're talking about how bad all these people are, when you're just as guilty, if not more guilty, than the people you're talking about. Now, I know some people are saying, well, you can't blame the women, Rod, because they fully believe that nobody would do anything, or they would go to their higher ups and their bosses and say something and nothing ever happened. Yeah, I know, I get it. No, I'm not really blaming the victims here. Because look, as we're coming up on speaking of Matt Lauer, evidently people have complained, women have complained about Lauer for years, and nobody did anything. So this is not a Good Morning America shocker. Look, when somebody, and this is what happened. Don't doubt. Now, I wasn't there, but this is what happened, folks. I'm telling you, this is how it went down. Them telling you that, oh, yeah, here at Good Morning America and the news, everything. We didn't know. We were unaware. Oh, BS. What do you think they have? The news that they said that they had other credible evidence that Lauer did other things prompted them to move and act quickly. Do you know why? Because the person who finally came forward in this 2-month atmosphere of hysteria, of sexual impropriety, somebody who was prominent enough, who could and would be believed if she went outside of the network. Not to mention you had major news publications, liberal ragmags, by the way, were, Washington Post, New York Times, New York Post, most of these things are liberal daily ragmags, were on the story. It was gonna bust out one way or the other on Matt Lauer. The hammer was coming down. So the bosses, the network bigwigs decide, well, we better get ahead of this because now there's a legitimate accusation. We know this has been going on for years because we have been covering it up, basically. So we got to make a move. In this atmosphere, what's happening with all the people that have been canned and fired and all that stuff over the past 2 months, we can't protect him anymore. He's got to go. That's what happened. Make no mistake about it. This had nothing to do with them doing with what they thought was right. This is how people are now being outed as being the evildoers that they are. It gets to the point when there are a couple of factors have to come into play. Basically, there are a couple of factors. It has to be a person that is going to be extremely credible and believable. Even if they're lying, at first they got to seem extremely credible and believable. And now, too, there's got to be others out there waiting in the wings who are going to come forward to corroborate. And some other major publication or network has got the story that they're holding on to, and they've contacted your bosses by saying, hey, we got this story. Any comment? We're going to run with it. What are you going to do about it? We're giving you a chance to do something before we run the story. That seems to be in most cases, that seems to be the general plan. Nothing really because look, we've heard of Charlie Rose. Well, yeah, Charlie Rose has been doing this for years. And Matt Lauer even supposedly exposed himself, and he gave away this inappropriate sexual gifts to his coworkers. Is that a problem? I don't know. Can you actually say? Now, I can't, but I find it hard. I really do find it hard to believe that somebody would be that crude. But just think about it. Now this can be proven. You're accused of, for instance, you're a guy, and you got the Christmas swap, whatever, Yankee swap, whatever it is at work, and or you're the Secret Santa, and you give a woman a sex toy for a gift, Christmas gift, birthday, whatever, anniversary. You give him, or just out of the blue, you give him a gift that's a sex toy. What would you think if you got that? What goes through your mind as the gift giver to do that? Now, you might do that to your husband or wife, your spouse. You might do that, to your lover, your secret, tryst person. You might even give it to a friend out of jest or joke. But would you really do it in a professional setting? I mean, really? I mean, I could see, with your significant other, you come home and say, honey, look what I got. I got you a gift. I can see that. I cannot see going to the store, the sex toy store, and thinking, yeah, my coworker ABC is going to blow a gasket when I give her this thing. And then going to the counter and purchasing it, and then going home and wrapping it, and then having the gall to actually take it into work and handing it over. Do people realize the thought process from actually seeing the damn thing on the store shelf or okay, so maybe they don't go to the store, they order it anonymously online. But can you imagine just going to the website or going to the store? Going to the store is now like going to the website. Going to the store or the website, seeing the item, thinking how great it would be to give it to this other person, then ordering it and purchasing it and then wrapping it and then taking it into your place of work and business and handing it over. Do you see all the steps that somewhere along the line your conscience should say, nope, not a good idea? But think about it. Their conscience didn't stop them through that entire process. It's not like this was you may chalk up as a spur of the moment or even a thing of opportunity. When you pat someone on the butt or you say something inappropriate, maybe a coworker, they bend over. Wow, nice view. Okay. You wouldn't do if they never, it's just opportunity was there. And you didn't control your mouth and your mind, so you just blurted it out, but it was opportunity. That is different from actually planning, going through the steps of purchasing or acquiring something, going through the rigmarole of having it, of taking it home or having it delivered to your home or wrapped up and then sent or given to the person of your desire, I guess. There is a lot of, thought going into it. It's not a spur of the moment thing. It's not an act of opportunity. You actually thought it through. Can you see the difference? Now, I'm not saying one is worse. Well, one is worse than the other. One is just that you blurt something out and you don't, because you haven't learned how to control yourself. When a male or female coworker bends over and, puts their butt in your face, you say, "Oh, nice view." Now, a lot of people might think that, but most people won't actually blurt it out and say it because we're adults and we can control ourselves. And we know it's inappropriate and it's not right, and they're not bending over to be to give us a sexual thrill. They have to do whatever they're doing. Some people just blurt it out. Yeah, it's inappropriate. But if they never saw the person bending over, they never would have thought of something like that. It's a crime of opportunity, basically. That's what they call it. That's spur of the moment, and people that haven't learned how to control themselves, they blurt things out that they shouldn't blurt out. And usually, after somebody like that says something like that, and they realize, "Oh, did I say that out loud? I am so sorry." I've heard it, when I work for PC Connection, it's happened a few times. When somebody says something and they realize, did I just say that out loud? Oh, they go, "I'm sorry." And everybody goes on about their business and they forgive everybody. Because it doesn't happen all the time. And it was a one-off, a crime of opportunity. People understand it and say, apology accepted, and they move on. But this is something different. They actually had to think this through. Matt Lauer was actually accused of giving a coworker an inappropriate sexual gift. That's not a crime of opportunity. That's creating the opportunity.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement. But now, there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came, defeat the would-be dictators, and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Remember the thing that I brought you yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday about the LGBT, PDQ, XYZ, whatever. Well, this it's the real thing, real deal out there, folks. What we have is the Snopes actually got in on this and said that this whole thing is mostly true. Well, no, it's all true. Well, here's what Snopes says is false about it. The acronym was used fictitiously as a way to attract participants to the training. Okay, so it wasn't used to attract participants to the training. That was false. But everything else about it was true. A months-old photograph reportedly showing a flyer for an LGBTTTIQQAAPP inclusiveness training session hosted by the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario was recirculated on social media in November 2017 after it was featured in an article in the Daily Mail, which is a UK publication. It got lots of attention here in the USA. As a matter of fact, there is a current snippet of video going around with Tucker Carlson interviewing a Canadian teacher about this. And this is, or a Canadian talk show host who's all for this crap. I mean, and of course, there were plenty of, he should patent or copyright that facial expression of his, because it's so I would be the same way if I was on TV. That's why I would look at people like, are you completely serious? Are you serious right now? You actually believe this nonsense? But evidently this guy actually believed in the LGGGBTTTTTTPDXYZ crap.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do. I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. All of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites and you new listeners all across the globe. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from the Bunker Eye studio, located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where it is still rather cold out there. The temperature hasn't risen very well. It's now 28 degrees out there. So started out at about 20 this morning. So now it's at 28. Still below freezing. If you know what happens to a water hose when the temperature dips below 32? Well, the water inside freezes. The other day I heard a neighbor complaining about how bad his hose was. It's not the hose's fault you left it out when the temperature drops below 32 degrees. Water is going to freeze. Well, hey, it happens. People forget, and they might be outside when the temperature is at 40 or 50 degrees. And maybe they didn't realize that the temperature dipped below 30, the freezing mark, and that's what caused damage to their hose. But yeah. And water, when it freezes, it tends to expand. So if it could do some damage to seals and O-rings and things like that as well. So just a public service announcement for people who forget. This is the time of the year, time of season, that you might want to bring in at least drain them completely. If you're not bringing them inside, drain them of the water inside. Allow them to kind of air out, dry out. Just drain them so there's no water inside. Because otherwise, if the water's inside, going to freeze, and you're going to end up with something that you don't particularly like or want. Is going to stretch out or damage it. Ice is pretty powerful. Look what the great ice ages have done across the landscape. We talk about this in earth science all the time. Look what the ice did. It scarred the landscape and created stuff and tore down stuff. Ice is pretty powerful. It's pretty tough stuff. Can do some damage. So you just don't want to leave your hoses out. Anyway, public service announcement on hoses. Just because I have a neighbor who was a little bit upset about his hose being a piece of junk when he left it out.
This LGBTTTIQQAAPP crap is still this is something that's new that has taken hold on the left, and it is something that is absolutely I brought it to you yesterday. It's hilarious. Well, it would be. This is something that you would expect to find or see on Saturday Night Live. But unfortunately, this is real stuff. And we went through what some of these letters stand for yesterday, and it's just, I've had people say this is how we should address. I've seen it on Twitter and other places. People serious. This is how we should address the alternative lifestyle community from now on. I can't remember all of those letters without reading it. There's no way in hell I'm going to run around calling it the LGBTTTTTTTT. I feel like I'm a stuck record here sometimes. You're on a rap record or something, or you're what is you're one of those electronic EDM DJs? LGGGGBDTTTTTTTTTTT. Hey, that's what it sounds like. This is ridiculous. But we're supposed to remember this, and this is how we're. All of those letters, none of them really are any different. All those new letters don't say anything differently than what we already had in the old letters. And some of the letters, one in particular, really takes the left to task on their How many times have we been told, hey, and we even had a Lady Gaga song, Born This Way, right? Yeah, we're born this way. So then how can you have Q for questioning if you're born this way? Well, there's actually a couple of letters for the questioning part, but let's just take that one letter, Q. You're questioning. Because you're not sure. You don't know. You haven't decided yet. Well, if you haven't decided, then that means you weren't born that way. I know that, Rod, that's a logical thought. How dare you bring logic into a liberal mindset? Well, I can't help it. Let's just, how can I put this? Let's just say that there are those. It's a birth defect, and you're born that way. To have a Q for questioning, well, it goes along with alternative lifestyle, as if you have a choice. Remember, they've been telling us on one hand that it's not a choice to be, gay, lesbian, transgender, whatever. It's not a choice. You're born that way. But then they teach kids, and this is no different. Hey, we're living in a much freer society. You can choose to live an alternative lifestyle if you want. Well, I thought if you're born that way, you don't have a choice. See, folks, they do all this hypocritical stuff. It's just the same. Yeah, and we get the other Q for queer, and I'm still not exactly sure what that means. Well, the way they describe it, isn't that lesbian or gay? But I guess it's not. It is, but it isn't. I don't get it. But they're calling it. All these letters are not just they're sexual. Or how can a sexual orientation be questioning? I don't understand that one. I'm trying to, people. I'm really trying. But I guess this guy was on for some 25 minutes on Tucker Carlson, and you had a number of Tucker Carlson faces coming at this guy as he was trying to explain this LGBTTTIQQAAPP crap. I can't even really say it with a straight face. It sounds like well, I know a lot of kids probably don't even know this because they don't even know what a vinyl record is. But you remember vinyl records when they get a scratch and they would skip back over and over again. And if you didn't take care of it, I mean, there were ways to sort of fix it if the scratch wasn't too bad or too deep, or if you let it stay on this, it became a groove and there was no way the record was ruined. It would always go to L G G G G G G G G G G G. That's that's what it would be. By the way, have you seen this? Another Alabama poll shows Roy Moore surging back into the lead down there in Alabama. Yes, Alabama is how New Englanders say Alabama. This makes 3 post-giving polls now of the state and nearly 3 identical leads for Moore. The first one came yesterday, Change Research Survey putting him ahead of Doug Jones at 49-44. An 8-point surge since the NADIR, the nadir of the teen girls scandal. Then came Emerson, which has him up 53-47. Although his last poll, conducted around the time WAPO's first story about Moore and the girls first broke, had him up 8. Now, JMC's Analytics, whose last poll had Jones racing ahead to a 4-point lead, putting Moore back on top by 5. Their numbers, if you include learners are identical to those of Change Research 49-44. Not only are the margins remarkably consistent across 3 polls, but Moore is either at or on the cusp of an outright majority in each, leaving Jones's odds very weak. Predict It has Moore as a 75-25 favorite to win as of this morning. So all of this hit stuff. Now I know there are people out there that are still saying, well, hey, Moore, there are like 6 women who have accused him. Well, there are a number of problems with this. Now, I'm not saying that Moore could not or did not do one or more of these things that these women are accusing him of. Not saying it at all. But here's the problem. We know at least 3 of them have had their stories disproven. They've had the stories disproven. And we know that all of them took place between, 38 and 42 years ago. So on average, 40 years ago. We also know that there hasn't been a single person come forward since then. Especially at what Judge Moore has been married to the same woman for over 32 years. Definitely ever since he got married, there has been no accusation of any sexual impropriety whatsoever on Judge. We haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. Has anybody else heard anything that's newer than 35 years old, 38 years old? No, I haven't. So there is that. And that alone raises enough questions. Well, if this guy was serious, if he's a serial predator, why would he all of a sudden stop at, 35 years ago and never do it again? Well, maybe he found God, Rod. Maybe he found God. Well, he's always been a God-fearing man, evidently. I know I'm not supposed to ask these kind of questions, but these questions are logical. So, I think a lot of people are figuring this out, that this was nothing but a hit piece because Moore was going to trounce on Jones. So Jones, there's stuff out there that says Jones is behind this, behind these women. I don't know. Wouldn't put it past him. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, I'm not saying this is the case, but it would not surprise me at all if candidate Jones was actually guilty of doing some of the things to these women that these women are claiming that Moore is done, or to other women that have not come forward yet. And it would not surprise me in the least if candidate Jones directly paid these women to say what they're saying. None of the above would surprise me. Not saying that it did happen, but it would not shock or surprise me. If the story hit the paper tomorrow, New York Times, Jones accusers, were paid by Jones' campaign. Would not shock me. I'd say, just par for the course for a Democrat, tell you the truth. You know what? That's pretty sad. That's pretty sad when you get to the point when people of a certain political persuasion do something that no longer shocks the you-know-what out of you. That's pretty damn sad. How many people are like that? We all look at this now and say, well, that's not shocking. And go about our daily lives when we should be looking at this saying, oh my good, how did this happen? Shame on these people. No, we're like, oh, we kind of expected, not shocked by that at all. That's just not right. It's not. We're now so complacent so numb about this stuff that it's just now part of our daily lexicon. In fact, we can't see, you get up every morning and, you do your morning routine. You shower, you shave, you eat your breakfast, drink your coffee. Maybe you read the newspaper or, turn on your phone to see what the news is on your phone or your laptop or your computer. And, you do your morning routine. Now all of this sexual allegation stuff has become a part of our morning routine. It does not shock us anymore. We're not even moved by it. In fact, we probably even barely notice it. I mean, how many people saw Matt Lauer fired? Well, that probably got their attention, but how many people probably saw Matt Lauer accused of sexual impropriety and went, ho-hum, oh, next. Seriously. It seems like every freaking damn day we're getting some other kind of celebrity is being accused. Now they're just, if they're working for corporate America, now they're just being fired. The only people who don't seem to be losing their job over sexual impropriety is politicians in the swamp in D.C.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Great minds think alike, Kevin. There is some other stuff out there today besides all the sexual stuff, and we're going to get into that. Plus, we got some other sexual news like this. Off of Hot Air is reporting that NPR's chief news editor quits amid sexual harassment allegations by at least 3 women. 3 women have come forward claiming another liberal. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Another liberal. I swear to God, I can't keep track of this stuff anymore. I should have known better when I said I was going to start trying to keep track of and make a list of all the people being accused of sexual innuendo that have, that legitimately being accused of being sexual impropriety. I should have known that it was going to be an impossible task. I need a full-time person working on this. I can't do this on my own, but we'll keep it up. Rod Eccles at rodeccles.net. We'll try. So there's that. MS-13. Anybody know who MS-13 is? MS-13 is the very violent Latin American gang. And it's not just here in the, MS-13 is all over the USA now and Central America. It's big. Its origination. I'm not sure where it originated. Some Central American country, not Mexico. People say it was Mexico. No, it was not Mexico. It comes out of. By the way, Mexico is not a Central American country. It's a North American country. There are 3 countries in North America: Canada, the USA, and Mexico. Central America includes, Honduras, Ecuador, Panama, Guatemala. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but you look at a map and you can tell. However, there's a story here about objections being raised to deporting illegal alien MS-13 members. Yeah, I know. I read that headline, and you're probably saying, "Wait, what?" Yes, there are objections being raised to deporting illegal aliens who are proven members of the MS-13 gang after they've been arrested and incarcerated for doing crime. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Maryland. Maryland, they don't. By the way, Maryland doesn't seem to have a clear. Maryland, the mayor of Baltimore and the governor of Maryland are both being criticized for not seeming to have a clear way or plan to combat gang violence within their jurisdictions. However, there is somebody in Maryland who has come up with a plan, and they're trying to execute that plan. And they're busy executing and implementing that plan. In Hartford County, Maryland, which is slightly northeast of Baltimore, the county sheriff's department has been identifying residents of their jail system who turned out to be in our country illegally. They've been comparing those records with the criminal profiles of illegal aliens. They were able to identify a number of them who were also involved in gang activity, including at least 4 who were members of the notorious MS-13 gang. And guess who raised objections as to this being highly unfair? And accused people of targeting and being racist. What? They've committed a crime, probably been convicted. And so you're going to do a background check on the convicted, find out that they're here illegally, so you hold them, and then you find out that they are probably a member of this very, very dangerous MS-13 violent gang. And you want to blame the sheriff's department?
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together
and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
One of the, since starting this show, I back in 2009, I've always known that many on the left were just complete bonkers nutso. And I've also known, and I've come to learn since 2009, how correct I have been about the left up until that point. And in realizing that I up until 2009, I truly underestimated the depth and level of their stupidity and evilness. I did, and I cannot believe there are days that I just find it absolutely incredible that these people on the left do and say what they do and say. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, you know how bad they can be, and yet you are still slightly surprised when you come across something like this. Now understand, I am not completely and totally taken aback. But and I'm not surprised that a right-leaning publication would get the story. When I guess you could say I'm just a little bit miffed, more than a tad bit surprised. Just maybe it's I'm pissed. Is what I'm saying. And this is ridiculous. A white sociology professor. Now, folks, hold on to your racist seats and racist caps for a second here. A white sociology professor. It says that it is racist for whites to have mixed-race children. If you are white, you are not supposed to fall in love with somebody who is not white and have mixed-race kids. Now, it makes it a little bit more difficult because today the left has just chopped up everybody into these small little minority groups. So, hey, well, I don't know. I mean, can a white person have a child with a white Latino? Remember George Zimmerman? Anybody? Yeah. Well, I don't know what you do with that. What are the mixed race kids supposed to do? You only have mixed race children? They can only date and marry somebody else who's also mixed race. And does that mixed race have to be the exact mixed race that they are? I mean, this is stupid. I can't even give you a better word. It's just plain. They're stupid, and then there's just stupid. The professor of sociology posted a series of tweets last week that suggest white people must forego reproducing if they want to combat white supremacy. Oh yeah, you combat white supremacy by wiping out the white race. Can you talk about self-loathing here for a second? You know, people accuse me of being self-loathing because I'm a conservative and I'm also part black. That's just not supposed to happen. Well, I'm not running around saying that blacks should not reproduce. Here you got a white woman running around saying that whites should not reproduce. But she's not considered to be self-loathing. I run around saying that blacks can do better without government than they do with it, in that they're accepting the new type of slavery, being on the government plantation, if they follow the Democrat Party. And I'm a self-loather. I hate myself. That's what they say. Because I believe that blacks can do better. So I hate myself. She believes that whites should not even reproduce. And she's a humanitarian. Professor Fleming says in a tweet, I often see followers on here draw links between white racism and other forms of domination. Does anti-racism help you connect the dots? For those who've lost family and friends to challenging white racism, how do you cope? Is another tweet that she's asking. You've lost family and friends who challenged white racism. Really? Daniel started her thread as a response to a tweet by Crystal Fleming, an associate professor of sociology and Africana studies at the State University of New York in Stony Brook. Fleming had asked the question, how people cope who have lost family and friends for challenging white racism. So, academia, folks. These people are in academia. They're teaching your kids. If they weren't so serious about this, it would be funny. I don't. There's so much here. I could go in for days and folks, it's out there. This stuff is out, and it goes along with Brown University allowing students to self-identify as persons of color. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. The venerable Brown University that is located in Providence, Rhode Island. Brown is one of the Ivy League schools, the prestigious, expensive, overly priced Ivy League schools, is it not? They're implementing a change to its graduate school application that will allow applicants to self-identify as persons of color. Now, here's the issue with this and how it came about. A graduate student, Lydia, hashtag last name, by the way, or not hashtag, but hyphen, Lydia Kelo Bennett, Kelow Bennett. Kelo Bennett. Kelo Bennett told the Herald, the Boston Herald, that this decision has led to institutional invisibility. Because the school advisory board, the policy comes as a result of complaints made by graduate students on the graduate school advisory board that the international and Asian American students are not treated as members of historically underrepresented groups by the university. Now, Keeler Bennett told the Herald that this decision has led to institutional invisibility on campus for these students. Brown defines historically underrepresented groups as American Indian. I thought they were called Native Americans, not American Indians. So here at Brown University, they're calling... Isn't that offensive to Native Americans to say they're Indian? Anyway, I don't know. Ask Pocahontas, Hiawatha, if that's offensive. American Indian, Alaska Native, African American, Hispanic or Latinx, Native Hawaiian and or Pacific Islander. The school's diversity initiatives are intended to benefit members of these groups. So, if you're a person, a so-called person of color of any group that isn't mentioned there, you're not considered to be a person of color, I guess, according to Brown. Now, Brown's criteria for historical underrepresentation caused some students not to receive invitations to certain events, such as a multicultural student dinner. Oh my! I would be so hurt if I did not get an invitation to a multicultural dinner. I didn't get invited. I didn't get to. And I'm a person of color, and they don't see me as a person of color. Really? You're gonna be that butthurt? I mean, this is. I'm beside myself on this one. I don't. Well, Rod, you're a member. You're already identified. So? Why do I got to identify it to begin with? I mean, this is like, a long time ago. I actually called into a radio show here in the Boston area called the Tom Leykis Show. People might know who Tom Leykis is. He was here in Boston for a while. And he was a morning show. I think it was like 10 to noon or 9 to noon. Sometime around, he came on before Rush. He was on WRKO 680 Boston. Remember it fondly, because I would listen to, it would be Tom Leykis, then they had Jerry Williams, who's passed away. Jerry Williams was like one of the godfathers of talk radio. It'd be Jerry Williams, Rush Limbaugh, and I forget who followed Rush. It was somebody else. A local guy. But anyway, no, it was before Howie Carr was on the radio. But anyway, so we had so I called in. There was a particular person who came on that Tom Leykis had on the air with. She was, and this was at the time when they were talking about how bad it was for white couples, white heterosexual couples, to adopt orphaned black children. So this black social worker out of Rochester, New York, I remember it to this day, out of Rochester, New York, was on the Tom Leykis Show out of Boston, Massachusetts. And she was talking about and railing against allowing white couples, heterosexual, stable white couples, keeping them from adopting orphaned black children that were in the system. Now, this woman said it would be better off for these black children to remain in the system than to be adopted by white families, because when they were adopted by white families, they were missing out and losing their black or African American history and culture. Now, I don't know what kind of culture she was talking about. Culture of violence and ghetto and poverty? Was that what I don't know. And I was listening to this woman talk about this stuff. And then she got on the subject, of couples having, of mixed race kids too. I mean, this has been a long-standing argument against mixed race people. Because they would be confused. Their heritage would be confused. Like, what? How can their heritage is going to be confused? What are they talking about? So I called in the show and I actually got through. And I challenged this one. I said, you know what? I'm African American and I'm also Cherokee. Am I supposed to just deny half of me? And both of them said, you are going to have to choose who you are. I said, excuse me? You mean I have to choose to deny half of my heritage in order to satisfy you? This was on the air in Boston. A black woman and a white talk radio show host challenged me to choose either to be Cherokee or to be black, but I couldn't be both. Can somebody tell me how that made any sense? How does one deny half of themselves? Or even a quarter of themselves? Oh, look, I get that some people get to lie about who they are. Rachel Dolezal, Sean King, Pocahontas. Liawatha. She lied about being something, and nobody's taken her to task. She didn't have to choose, even though she's not even, evidently, there is no Native American or Cherokee blood within her, running through her veins at all. She didn't have to choose. Nobody said, hey, no, Elizabeth, you're going to have to choose. You can't be white and Cherokee. No, you can't. You got to choose. Nobody said that to her. This is I just don't I don't understand how now people are going to get to choose who they are. Well, I guess that there should be another T to that LGGBTTTTTTQQQQQ thing. There should be another T for transracial. Because if you're not black, I guess you can put, according to this, at Brown, you're going to be able to self-identify yourself as, they're not saying if they're going to add any, maybe you're not a Pacific Islander, but maybe you're a Southeast Asian. But I guess you're going to be able to identify, if you can get away with it, you're going to be able to identify as a Pacific Islander. Hey, you know what? I come from Hawaii even though I'm from Japan. I look like a Hawaiian, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So maybe if... folks, you just can't make this garbage up.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
I want to remind people this is the last week to get in your original Christmas music. If you're a musical composer or a musical artist, or if you own a particular song or songs, you can submit them here to the Rod Eccles Show. We will be playing them during the month of December leading up to the wonderful day of Christmas. Well, actually, not up to the day of Christmas, because we will be taking off for the holiday before December 25th. But we'll be playing all month long that we're on the air live. We'll be playing original Christmas music from the past and the present. The past couple of years has been extremely successful with this. And artists who have their music represented here, because you get full credit, full accolades about who you are and where the song comes from. A number of artists have said that they have gotten some new fans from having their Christmas songs played here. So you can do that. You can have it, just send it as an MP3 format file. You can go over to rodeccles.net to the Contact Me page and add it as a file, or you can send it to The Rod Eccles Show. Yes, spell it all out, The Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com. And we already have a few that are lined up. We'll be mixing this year's new batch with some that we've played, some of the more popular ones from the past 2 years. So it's going to be a great time. So if you have a Christmas song, you really should, and you own it, or if you did a cover of a famous one, it has to be a full cover of your own. You can't, steal it from somebody else. And trust me, we're pretty good at figuring that out here, if it's completely original or not, because we have to. You gotta be careful with this stuff. You don't want it to come across as belonging to somebody, and it actually belongs to somebody else. The original artists actually they get kind of pissed off about that kind of stuff. So we're as careful as we possibly can be with that. But so if you have something that's original that you've done, either a completely original song or your own original cover of a song, then send it on over. And we can see if we will play it for you during the holiday season, the Christmas season here in December, which begins tomorrow. The first batch of Christmas songs you're going to hear tomorrow, right here on the Open Mic Friday edition of the Rod Eccles Show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing this. We identify some very talented people out there that otherwise you probably would not hear of, and it's good stuff. So send it on over, either through the contact page or on the website, or via the Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com. This just in. Representative John Conyers has been hospitalized. According to this announcement from the Washington Examiner, he's been hospitalized due to stress. Stress as it is related to the sexual harassment controversy. Yes, this is what a spokesman for his family said Thursday. Today, Sam Riddle, R-I-D-D-L-E, a family spokesman and political... Who has a family do you have a family spokesman? Somebody who... I don't. I want to get me a family spokesman. How much do you have to pay a family spokesperson? Anyway, he's a political consultant, said the 88-year-old was admitted to the hospital recently and is resting comfortably. Now get this, he's doing okay, as well as can be expected for a gentleman that's approaching 90 years of age. I don't care how old you are. If you do what this guy has been accused of doing to women, that's not being a gentleman. That's being an a-hole.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's going to explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine. It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio. Yes, already 2 hours are in the can, in the bag, and ready to go off into the realm of history. As we continue here with hour number 3 on this Thursday, November 30 in the year of our Lord 2017. We continue. I got lots of more stuff here besides the sexual stuff here in the paper pile. I got some earth-shattering news about Earth stuff. You know, you can't. I don't know this. I go over this stuff and Rod, how do you keep doing the same stuff over and over every day? Even though it may seem like it's the same subject, it's different stuff. As amazing as it is, it's something different within the same subject. Well, for instance, all the sexual impropriety stuff. It's the same damn subject, but every day it seems like it's somebody different. Somebody prominent different. It's not the same. It's something different. This is the one great thing I love about this job. The subjects are the overall subjects are familiar, which gives one a sense of comfortability. Yes, yes, it gives you a little. You're comfortable in knowing that you're within the realm of the subjects that you are familiar with. But within those subjects, the subheadings, the sub-subjects, is something different every day. So that's why I don't get bored. It's why I can't get bored. Because every day it's something different within the realm of the same subjects that I often cover. I mean, and it really never, this stuff never ceases to amaze me. It really is amazing. How do you honestly call a man a gentleman after he's accused, and even in certain cases been proven to have done certain deeds by his own admission, that a gentleman would never do to a woman. And you say, well, Conyers has never been convicted. Well, yeah, Conyers has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar, not paying his taxes. He's been slapped for that. He's paid off women and tried to keep them quiet because they accuse him of doing or certain sexually explicit or illicit things to them and harassing them in certain ways. So you don't pay off somebody necessarily, especially if you're a liberal, if you're not guilty. I'm just saying. Now, he hasn't been found guilty in a court of law in front of by a jury of his peers of doing anything. Evidently, unless we've got a secret court case somewhere that I don't know about. But people on the right have been accused and found guilty in the realm of public opinion for doing less than what Conyers has done, being accused of. So don't tell me that you can't say that he's guilty, Rod. You can't. And besides, you're out there saying you can't say somebody's guilty. No, I'm not saying. I'm saying specifically that evidently he didn't go to trial for any of this stuff, but he paid off some people, and we know that he's a criminal in other ways because he's been convicted in various courts among his peers for doing other things. And yet he's still a member of Congress. Now, a Republican would have been booted out or forced to have resigned long ago, but this guy is still there, and now they're calling him a gentleman. He's not a gentleman. With all the things that this man has been accused of, and in some cases been convicted of, even though not convicted necessarily in a traditional court, but convicted among his own peers for ethical violations, he's not a gentleman. He is not. This is like, calling Al Franken a gentleman. Al Franken admits that he did what he did, and he apologized for it. But gentlemen don't do that to begin with. Not a gentleman. Speaking of Al Franken, at this time, an enlisted military servicewoman has come forward about Al Franken. Remember the other day when I told you Al Franken was asked a question, hey, Al, are there going to be other women who come forward? And Al Franken responded, I don't know. Meaning that there were other women out there. That the ones that have already come forward were not the only ones. And he knows it. But he didn't want to lie about it. And he didn't want to really say, well, yeah, there probably will be more coming, which is what he should have said. He just said, oh, I don't know. Well, that's code for saying, yeah, because there are other women that I've done this to. They some of them probably will come forward. Who's going to come forward? I don't know. When? I don't know. But will there be? Yeah, they probably will be. That's why he says, I don't know. It's not a lie. but yeah, well, again, you can't make this stuff up, folks. You really can't. Will there? Well. And now Matt Lauer is out there saying that he's sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got caught, and I'm sorry I got fired. How can... in Russell Simmons has just walked away from or stepped away from his companies after his sexual assault allegations have become known. He's accused of, I mean, this is serious stuff here on Russell Simmons. I don't know if it's true or not. No, I don't think there's been any charges, formal charges levied against Russell Simmons, the music mogul. But evidently he's, well, I'm not sure you wouldn't. I'm not sure you would step away, especially if you're a liberal like Russell Simmons. I wouldn't, and a minority. You don't step away unless there's some validity or truth to some part of the allegation. So maybe it wasn't rape, but maybe it was other sexual improprieties that took place that he's guilty of. I don't know. I don't know. I can only speculate, but I find it interesting that whenever these people go away on the left, whenever they go away, it means that they're, in some form or fashion, they're acknowledging that they've done something wrong and that the allegations are not too far off the mark. Now, they usually run away someplace like to a sex and blame sex addiction for their bad behavior, which is a bunch of BS. Anybody notice how liberals have a very hard time with sexual addiction? I mean, what didn't Weiner and Anthony Weiner go to sex addiction therapy, and then you have Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey are in rehab, sexual addiction rehab together. How many other liberals have got caught doing sexually explicit types of things, and that they went to or now are in the sexual addiction rehab? So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Russell Simmons head overseas for sexual addiction rehab. How do you fix somebody with who has a sex? What is a sexual addiction? I don't know. How do you when you have an addiction, what is the only treatment? Well, you can no longer engage in that particular activity. If you're an alcoholic, you can no longer have another drink. This is what we're told about addictions. If you're a gambler, if you're addicted to gambling, if you're a gambling addict, you can no longer gamble at anything ever again. Right? Isn't that where, if you have a drug addict, you can't take drugs, non-prescription drugs, without the strict supervision of a physician ever again. You can't even take, people who are addicted to drugs are afraid to even take an aspirin. For fear of relapse. So they can't take drugs ever again. I mean, you're supposed to abstain from the very substance or activity that has you addicted. Right? Isn't that the case? So when you're addicted to sex, are you supposed to become celibate? How can these guys never become celibate? They somehow are able, to go back to their lives and get married, and be normal with sex again. But it's how we understand, so far, how we understand addiction today. You're supposed to completely abstain from the item or object of your addiction. So how can you be? How do you treat a sex addiction? I don't know. I don't see these people abstaining from sex. Okay. Just asking the question. I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer for it. And I don't expect anybody else to have a real answer for it, because I don't believe they know what the real answer is. Anybody who comes forward and says, "Well, this is what a sex addiction is all about," I don't think you have the any clue as to what you're talking about. First of all, I don't believe there is such a thing as being addicted to sex. But for those of you who do, you don't have any clue as to what it is, how to treat it, why it's treated, where it's treated, what to do with it. You're talking out of your ass, as far as I'm concerned. So don't even try to answer it, because you can't. But I still have the question. But you don't have an answer for it. Any case, other things other than sex are on the agenda here in the paper pile. As a matter of fact, I have here in my currently cigar nicotine-stained fingers, in the paper pile, U.S. towns and cities fear taxpayer revolt if Republicans kill the deduction. Because right now you can deduct local and state income taxes and other taxes from your federal return. Well, some of these places that are high taxed municipalities or states fear that if, and I brought this to you before, they actually do fear this. This is from Reuters. From Pataskala, Ohio to Conroe, Texas, local government leaders worry that if Republican tax overhaul plans move through the U.S. Congress and become law, It will be harder for them to pave the streets and put out fires and fight crime and pay teachers, so they say. I don't think that's that would be a problem, actually, if they actually just spent the money where it's supposed to be spent. You can't tell me that it costs more, that firefighters are getting paid $80,000 in one city and only $40,000 in another. That's not the way it works, but okay. A tax plan approved by the House of Representatives last week would sharply curtail a federal deduction that millions of Americans can now claim for tax payments to state, county, city, and town governments. Ending that deduction, local leaders say, would make their taxpayers, especially in high-tax communities, less likely to support future tax increases or even tolerate local taxes at present levels. Can I read that part to you again? Ending that particular deduction, local leaders say, could make their taxpayers, especially in high-tax communities, less likely to support future local tax increases or even tolerate local high taxes at present levels. So, the federal government should not end this debaucherous subsidy of tax subsidy by eliminating the deduction that people can utilize against their federal tax return because of their high local taxes. Because local politicos are afraid that you people who are in these high tax communities will revolt, because you will then feel the full effect of high taxes. You can't make this stuff up.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Got another story here about how, with this whole tax mess, this whole tax reform mess. Bloomberg is reporting that the tax hike fears in high tax places, especially in places like Manhattan, New York City, and Greenwich. According to Bloomberg, tax hike fears trigger talk of exodus from Manhattan and Greenwich. These people are starting to look. I'm sorry, but if you live in a high tax community, it is probably your fault that you do. Now, I understand you could probably say, well, I never voted for these people who vote for high taxes. I get it. Then you're probably not so much at fault. The problem is that it is usually not the people who are sick of high taxes, who really are, who never voted for these people who give them high taxes. It's usually not them who are vacating the areas. It's kind of like, the horde. You sort of break off, and you send these people out to infest and infect other areas. What we're getting here in southern New Hampshire is a bunch of people trying to, what we're told is escaping the high taxes of the state of Massachusetts. But they come into southern New Hampshire where we have a relatively low tax burden. And they start demanding all of this stuff that they used to have back in the state of Massachusetts. And they start electing people who will give it to them. And then their taxes start going up. And they start complaining about their taxes going up. I think, well, you're an idiot. You just left Massachusetts because of why? Why'd you leave Massachusetts? They'll all tell you, well, because the taxes are outrageous. Well, why are the taxes outrageous? Because government's too expensive. Well, why is government too expensive? Well, I don't know. Well, do you think maybe because you want the government to do everything, including brush your teeth? That's why it's expensive? And you're coming here to my state, asking for the same damn expensive services, and then you wonder why your taxes go up. So we got these same liberal idiots that run around the country talking about, well, taxes are just too high. They get tired of high taxes too. They don't like paying taxes. They want everybody else to pay the taxes. They just don't want to pay them. That's a liberal. They want to spend everybody else's money. They just don't want to spend their own. That's the way they've always have operated. So now they're worried about an exodus. If the federal government gets rid of the tax deduction, local tax deduction, and municipalities and states raise taxes on these people, they're worried about people leaving these communities. I'm worried about them leaving too. Because then they'll come here to my beautiful state, turn it liberal, and start raising my taxes. And I like living in a state that has a relatively low tax burden. I know some people here, they complain about the high rate of property, but you know what? It's not that high in the greater scheme of things, considering here in New Hampshire, I probably shouldn't keep saying this and promoting this, but New Hampshire, we don't have a personal income tax. We don't have an income tax. Oh, there's business income taxes, yes, but we don't have a personal income tax here in this state. In other words, when you go to file your taxes every year, you file one return, not two. Only the Fed. We don't have an income tax. We also do not have a sales tax, a general sales tax. Yes, there is an 8.25%, convenience tax. In other words, you go to a hotel, you pay 8.25% of the hotel fee. You go out to dinner, you pay 8.25% on your meals tax. But otherwise, there is no general sales tax in this. The price when you see something in the store is the price. There's nothing added. When you go buy that wonderful car and the car says, it's $20,000, that's all you have to pay besides, the tags and registration. You go to just about any other state, you see the price, and you gotta in your head you have to add the tax. That $20,000 car in some places is going to add another 7, 8, 9% to the price, along with the registration and tags and insurance and stuff. You go to the store and you buy something for $1. Well, it's not $1. You go to the all for $1 store, those dollar stores. It's not $1. It's not $1. It's $1. No, that'll be $1.08, please. What do you mean $1.08? $1.08. You said it's $1. Oh, there's sales tax. What? Now you think, well, that's 8 cents, Rod. Okay, how about a $10 item? Now you're paying 80 cents. Now you're paying almost $11 for $10. How about $100? $100 item. You go to the store for Christmas. You spend $100. Now you got to dish out an extra $8 in some states or more. Do you not? You do. That's just the way it is.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
People all over the country are putting up their Christmas decorations, and many people have already had them up. The White House is no exception, and Melania Trump has, obviously, was mentioned before in this program, has put up decked out the White House. Now, understand that no First Lady, I don't care who they are, no First Lady, modern First Lady, has completely and totally 100% decorated the White House on their own. They didn't design all 100. They had the assistance of designers and professional designers, professional decorators, professional holiday arrangers and decorators. Yes, that is a profession. There are people out there that have a business that simply only decorate your home. You pay them to decorate your home for the holidays, whether it be Christmas, Hanukkah, Easter. Less so for things like well, there are people that they do it now for Halloween, but less so for holidays like Valentine's Day or 4th of July. But they're professional decorators, holiday decorators. And Christmas is their busiest big season, but they design and they put they do all the work. They put up your lights and they decorate your trees and. Now, usually that they will insist, at least there is one around here that insists that the family does their own tree, whether it be real or artificial. They go out and get the tree themselves and put it. They will sometimes give you the ornaments that you will use, but they want you to do it. They'll do everything else, but they want you to decorate as a family thing. So that's good. But they will decorate it, and in some cases, they will even do the tree. Decorate the main tree. So you don't do anything with it, but it usually turns out absolutely stunning, right? These professionals do stunning work. Well, Melania Trump she didn't do this on her own. She had some assistance with some professional designers and decorators helping her decorate the White House for her first Christmas at the White House. This is pretty typical. She's used to this, being the wife of Donald J. Trump, billionaire. This is what she's worked with designers and professional decorators her entire married life with Donald Trump. No big deal. But now you have the anti-Trumpists, the anti-Trump media has sunk to a low that is so low. I mean, and I'm not talking about the cup. Silence there, pause, professional pause, to let that sink in for a second. Anybody else get it? When I said not the cup? Sunk so low, solo cup? Ha ha. Anyway. The exquisite, now I've seen the video of the White House reveal. I'm sorry. It looks absolutely like a fantasy. It's magical, absolutely gorgeous. And look, I've even complimented, the Obama administration, even the Clinton administration on how beautiful the White House looks at Christmas. Well, because Hillary and Michelle and even Laura Bush, they didn't do all that themselves. They didn't design it. Yeah, sure, they may have gave guidance and said, well, I'd like to see something more along these lines. And then these professional designers and decorators come in and give them what they think that the First Lady wants. This is no different. But they are out there saying that the White House Christmas decorations, they have sunk so low as to say that these decorations, the White House is now spooky, spine-chilling, and nightmarish, like scenes from Mordor. Yeah, Mordor, the Lord of the Rings, or scary scenes from Narnia, or from, of all places, The Shining. I can't make this stuff up, folks. I saw the official White House video of showing off the Christmas decor. Again, absolutely stunning, as it is every year. This year is no different. I'm sorry, it's not. Yeah, I can admit that Michelle Obama had a beautifully decorated White House for most of the years that she was. Stunning. Always is. But the leftists in the media today are so bent on hating and trying to destroy and remove Trump. I bet you there will be people out there who are saying, see, this is exactly why we need to impeach and remove Trump from look what he did to the White House for Christmas. It looks nightmarish. We need to impeach Trump. Folks, this is a disease. It really is. When you start bashing the First Lady because you all of a sudden, you don't like her decorations because of who her husband is. That's pretty bad. If anything, I could say, well, I didn't like the Obama administration decorations because Obama was president. But I can't say that with a straight face. Michelle Obama led, in the 8 years that she was there, she gave us a beautifully decorated White House at Christmas time. She did. Can't deny her that. I mean, I don't like her personally. Don't like her husband. But that didn't take away from her ability to have the White House decorated absolutely stunningly. I mean, so having the beautiful trees with the snow, with all the light. I mean, it kind of, just from the video alone, it kind of looks magical. It just looks like something out of a movie, a good movie, a not scary movie. That's what Christmas decor is supposed to be. It's supposed to be magical. It's supposed to transport you to a place that is absolutely wondrous. And that's what Melania Trump has in the White House, at least for me. But the left, they just... I mean, it took most of the day yesterday before there was... I didn't see any negativity until towards the end of the day. And then the Trump-hating media was basically able to settle... and there are a number of right-leaning outlets that are coming up. This one in particular, this narrative from PJ Media, it says that that Trump-hating media was able to settle on an unfavorable narrative, which it settled into to belittle the newly unveiled Christmas decor. It's saying that it's shining like the movie Shining. In fact, there was one chamber. The chamber is creeping. Spooky White House Christmas chamber is creeping everyone the heck out, says the Huffington Post. One chamber in particular is getting attention online for all the wrong reasons. It's a twig-lined hallway that's being compared to everything from The Shining to the Blair Witch Project, the HuffPo wrote. I think it gives yes, the picture, the way the picture is shot, there is a slight sense of foreboding, but it's kind of magical at the same time. It's called what the left likes to call drama. It is full of Christmas decor drama. I mean, it gives you a certain somber mood about the holiday. What the holiday is really about. It's about the birth of our Lord and Savior, who goes to to die on the cross for our sins. It's what this whole thing is about. But there is this sense of beauty about this picture that does not appear to be the same type of thing in the movie The Shining or the Blair Witch Project. Well, I can't say the Blair. I never watched the Blair Witch Project because that was just stupid. I told you I don't get into horror movies. And they're trying to compare her with others as well, because she was I'm not even going to get into it anymore. It's just ridiculous. Narnia, the scene in Narnia where there's the queen in Narnia is wearing all white. Melania is wearing so I guess anybody whoever wears all white and walks amongst a forest, either real or imitation, a snow-filled forest, snow-covered forest, while they're wearing all white, they're all going to get the comparison to the evil queen in the movie Narnia. Yeah? No, they're not. Then why are they doing it with Melania? Well, because they hate Trump. That's. By the way, did you know? Speaking of, the reason why all this is being done is because, well, they're wealthy, and not because they're Trump wealthy, but because they're White House wealthy. There's this stuff. Most of this stuff is not paid for out of the president's pocket. It's part of the White House budget. Taxpayers pay for a lot of this stuff. Now, for a lot of the decorations that are within the living quarters of the White House, sure, most of that stuff is paid for by the president and his own family. But the rest of the White House, is paid for by we, the taxpayer. So it's White House rich, you could say. So there are a lot of wealthy people in this country. Well, being considered wealthy by liberal standards. I mean, I guess if you make $100,000 a year, you're rich. Even if you live in San Francisco or New York City, where the price of a simple squatter's ranch of about 700 square feet can run you up, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. Can you imagine having a 700 or 800 square foot apartment or house and having to pay $100,000 per 100 square feet. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But hey, there's these wonderful liberal bastion cities. So if you're making $100,000, you're probably considered construed to be rich by the left. Why? Because they don't want to be the only ones to be rich. What, you're saying Democrats don't want to be the only ones to be rich? Well, no, they don't want to be the only ones being called rich. Because latest survey has found that 7 of the 10 wealthiest members of Congress are Democrats. Now, that's down by 1. It was, under the Obama administration, it was 8 out of 10. 8 of the top 10 wealthiest members of Congress were Democrat. Now it's 7. 7 of the 10 wealthiest members, richest members of Congress are Democrats, while only 3 are Republicans, according to a recently published analysis done by the Center for Responsive Politics. Yes, the analysis was based on the financial disclosure forms that members of both the House and Senate filed in 2016 and covered their assets and liabilities through 2015. Representative Darrell Issa, or is it Issa, Republican from California, was the richest member according to the CRS analysis. He has an estimated net worth of $330 million. I didn't realize Issa was that wealthy. But then you get to Representative Jared Polis, Democrat out of Colorado, worth a stunning $314 million. Senator Mark Warner, Democrat out of Virginia, worth an absolutely staggering $238 million. Representative John Delaney, Democrat out of Maryland, worth $232 million. Representative Dave Trott, Republican out of Michigan, $177 million valuation. Representative Verner Buchanan, Republican out of Florida, $115 million. Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, number 7 out of California, worth an estimated $101 million. Scott Peters, Democrat out of California, worth an estimated $96 million. Richard Blumenthal, Democrat out of Connecticut, worth over $81 million. Dianne Feinstein, California, worth over $79 million. There's an awful lot of Californians on this list. Anybody notice that? So we got 1 out of 10. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half the list is Californians. Wow.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
I got off on a tangent and I really got going, and I almost forgot to mention today's holidays. And you can't forget holidays during the holiday season. Today's holidays for Thursday, November 30th are, it is Computer Security Day. It's a good day to review your computer security. I know there's a new router out there, the Norton router, whatever it is. I'm hearing some good things about it. I'll have to check it out. But it's Computer Security Day, especially with the notion that government wants to spy on us even more. It's National Methamphetamine Awareness Day. It's a day to, I don't know, maybe it's a day you're supposed to actually take methamphetamines. I wouldn't recommend that. Don't do that. It's also National Mason Jar Day. Today is the day. It's created by Misty Campbell Olbert, the founder of Unboxing the Bazaar. I guess, mason jars are really, those bar. Well, you could put your methamphetamines in a mason jar. Mason jars are very hip nowadays, too. They're very in. They're very expensive if you try to buy some old ones. Oh, good grief. Yeah, it's just ridiculous for a glass jar. It is also Cities for Life Day. I couldn't find much information about that. I have no idea what that is. It is also a day for foam, but not any kind of foam, edible foam, delicious foam. Yes, it is National Mousse Day. It celebrates mousse, which is a food that originated in France, where the literal French translation into English is foam. So chocolate mousse would be chocolate foam. Yes, so it's go out and have yourself some chocolate mousse or vanilla mousse or any kind of mousse that you want. Just don't try to get a real mousse, with the big horns on it. That's probably not a good idea. It's also Perpetual Youth Day because, you get a lot of people that don't want to grow up. So they have a day that's called Perpetual Youth Day that continually celebrates perpetual youth. Wasn't there a band like that? Yes, Menudo. Remember that? Who was... wasn't Ricky Martin a part of Menudo? Is it Ricky Martin? Yeah, I think so. Living La Vida Loca guy. Yeah, I think he was part. That's where he got his fame from, Menudo, right? Yes. It is also, finally today, it is National Stay at Home Because You're Well Day. Now, I remember this whole saying, when you go to work for yourself, in some certain businesses, they use, they try to get you into things like Melaleuca or Amway or one of those other, multi-level types of deals. They'll often say, hey, wouldn't you like to just be able to call in well one day? You pick up the phone and tell your boss, well, I just ain't coming in. Well, today's the day that you're supposed to do that. You call in well so you can stay at home when you're not sick. And those are today's holidays for November 30th. Finally today, really quick, the White House is considering a total and complete ban on personal mobile cell phones for the staff, considering that they're still dealing with so many different leaks with coming out of the White House. I think the president should have already done that. That and fire and leave just positions vacant to any old Obama staffer that's still there. Get rid of them all. Get rid of the deep state. You'll have a lot better time. Anyway, tomorrow is Open Mic Friday, Freedom Friday, as well as the first of the Christmas songs, the original Christmas songs. Don't forget to send yours to me. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful Thursday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.